In this video, I'm going to go over the difference between the status bar versus scale bar options within the Gryphax software that comes with Gryphax microscope cameras from Jenoptik, Germany. I'm Bob Martin. Let's take a look at it. In microscopy, you frequently want to add a scale bar to your image, some kind of a size reference to your image, which takes the form of scale bars. In Gryphax software, there are two ways you can do that. I'm going to start by showing you what is called the status bar, and then I'll follow that up with a simpler way if you just want to add a scale bar. The status bar option is located under File, Preferences, Status Bar. Good place for it. And what we see here is we can turn our status bar on or off. Let's turn it on. We can choose what is going to be displayed in the status bar. I'm going to choose the date, text box, device name, magnification scale. I'm going to include these things just to show you what they do. And you can choose either white text on a black background or black text on a white background. I think I'll choose that one. There is an option to confirm calibration before capture. This can be useful because you don't want to have a scale bar on your image that is incorrect. So let's check that off. Font and thickness, I usually choose medium on this. And keep scale bar visible, I'm going to check that. Okay. Now, with my status bar turned on, and there's a little box down here in the right corner, that is a checkbox where you can turn the status bar on and off easily without going back to File, Preferences, Status Bar. But if you want to make any changes to what is displayed in the status bar, then you have to do that back under File, Preferences. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to have a device. That's what Jenoptik Gryphax calls a microscope with a Gryphax camera together is a device. It needs to be calibrated. So I've got a couple of other videos. One takes you through setting up the camera for the first time. The second one takes you through calibration and measuring. And so this is now the third video, and we have a microscope that is calibrated and ready to go. So I'm using a BX53 microscope. This is my list of devices, and BX53 is the only one I have here available. It has a Gryphax camera on it. This is a live image that I'm looking at right here from my microscope. And so now let's suppose I want to capture this image. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to click record, as always, to capture the image. It's going to say you have the calibration set to 4x. Make sure that the correct calibration has been selected. Proceed. Well, that's a good thing I set that warning, because no, that is not correct, so I'm going to cancel. I am actually on the 20x objective. This is at 200x magnification, so I need to pick that. I could pick it up here as well. I have 4, 10, and 20 on my microscope, but you can also choose it here. So 20x, that's where I am. That's what needs to be selected. So let's try this again. Record, and this time, yes, I want to proceed. And this time it's going to capture an image. It shows me a preview, and I'll come back and show you that a little bit better. And then it saves the image and brings me back to a live image here. So here's the thumbnail of the image that it saved. Let's take a look at this. So this strip that's been appended to the bottom of the image is the status bar. In this status bar, I have the date, I have the device name that I gave it, BX53. In this case, that's the microscope. I have that it's a 20x objective that I've chosen. And I have a scale bar over here, 100 microns. Now, with the status bar, there's no way to tell it how long you want the scale bar to be. But some advantages of the status bar are that it doesn't cover up any of your image. It just simply appends this stripe to the bottom of your image. And another thing that you can do with the status bar is this text box down here. I could type in here notes about this image. And now when I capture an image, let me go back live. And then, oh, it took away my notes. Let me do that again. I'm going to type in here notes about this image. And now I'm going to capture my image, record. Once again, yes, I'm on 20x. And now let's take a look. So I have now appended the date, my whatever was in my text box, the microscope, and the objective, and a scale bar. So this is, the status bar is one potentially useful way to add some information about the image that's now part of the image, saved with the image, as well as a scale bar. So that's option number one. So I'm going to go back live and I'm going to show you option number two. Option number two will be to simply grab this scale bar down here and drag it into the image wherever you want to put it. And this image, I can adjust, the scale bar, I can adjust the size of it. I can't make it any longer, but I can make it shorter if I want to. I can click on it, I can grab it by this end, the left end here, and I can make it shorter or longer up to the maximum that it started at. So let's say I want to make this one 100 microns. Then I can click off of it. So I can put this wherever I want it on my image, and this is now going to be a part of my image when I capture it. I'm going to turn the status bar off. It's possible to have both the status bar and a scale bar in the image, but that's a little redundant, so let's turn this back off. Now if I capture this image, again I'm prompted, and yes, I'm still at 20x objective, and here's my image, which basically looks exactly like the live image. Here's my status bar as incorporated part of this image. So that's the simple way to do that. And the status bar, one of the things we checked in file preferences, let me go back there right quick just so you can see it. One of the things that we checked off here when status bar was on, we checked off, we checked keep scale bar visible. So that means that when you capture an image and you go back to a live image, it keeps the scale bar wherever you put it. And again, the scale bar will be affected by these things here. You can have a white scale bar or a black scale bar, so that's up to you. And the confirmed calibration, of course, we used in both cases, and the size and font and thickness, medium is what I find works best. So now let me just to be clear here, if I change my microscope to a 10x objective, now my scale bar is no longer correct. But because this isn't a smart microscope, let's say, the microscope itself is in no way connected to the computer. So and even if it was, the Gryphax software is not going to be able to read whatever information might be coming from the microscope. For instance, if you have an encoded nose piece. So you are going to have to manually choose, I'm now on 10x objective. And it makes that correction in real time right there. And once again, if I click record, it's now set to 10. Is this correct? Proceed. Yes. Oh, and I guess I left my status bar on accidentally, but I can turn that back off. Take another image. Okay, now let's say that I didn't want this image with both the scale bar and the status bar. I'm just going to click that and hit the trash can tool down here and delete it. Or perhaps I want to delete several images. I can just click one image, hold down the shift key, and I can delete all those images easily enough. And the last thing I'll just throw into this video, because this has been a fairly short one, if I want to, for instance, change the name of this image that I've captured, right now it's called image and it has a date and time stamp as the name of the image. But I can just click this and I can change the name to anything I want it to be. And now it's called anything.jpg. So it's an easy place to, you can always go back and change the name of the images in the thumbnail view very easily. So that is it for this video. I hope it was helpful.